There was once a young traveler named Sam. Sam lived at the base of a mountain in a small village. Sam had always dreamed of climbing to the top of the mountain because he had always heard that the view from the top was breathtaking. But for Sam, it wasn't just about the view. It was about the freedom and accomplishment that came with reaching the top of the mountain. One day, Sam decided to finally make the journey up. He's super excited, so he grabs his suitcase and he starts packing. The basics went in first: clothes, food, water. But as Sam prepared for the climb, what started as a collection of essential items soon became a collection of burdens. Sam added a rock labeled grudge, representing the unresolved anger that he had towards an old friend. Each item Sam began to throw in his suitcase held emotional weight. Next, he threw in a heavy coat of fear, a bundle of regret, and a soggy blanket of resentment. Lastly, he threw in a tangle of ropes labeled toxic relationships. These ropes represented the relationships in his mind that had only brought him heartache and stress. By the time Sam was ready to leave, the suitcase was so heavy that it was hard to lift. But determined to reach the top, Sam struggled, picked up his suitcase, and started his climb. Every step was tough. In fact, the suitcase began to feel heavier and heavier as the journey went on. And as Sam continued to carry this heavy suitcase around, the journey that was supposed to be exciting now became a burden. As Sam trudged up the high mountain, an old traveler saw him carrying this heavy weight. The old traveler was carrying a small, light backpack and had the energy that he could go for miles and miles and miles. The seasoned traveler looks at Sam and says, "Why are you carrying so much on a journey that was set to make you free?" Sam's response was, "Well, everything I have in my suitcase, I need. These are necessities. Although some of these items I truly hate carrying, I don't even know who I am or what I would do without them." The old traveler listened to Sam and said, Yeah. I used to carry all of that as well. But the more life I lived, the more I've learned that the higher you climb in life, the less you need to carry. To reach the top, you've got to let go of what is no longer serving you and press towards the mark. Only then will your everyday journey be light and ultimately more fulfilling. The old traveler continued, "I've got to go, but I want you to remember, you are not what happened to you. You are what you choose to become. And what you choose to become is directly influenced by what you choose to carry." Like Sam, many of us carry unnecessary weight on our journeys through life. Have you ever noticed how much lighter you feel when you let something go? We tend to carry so much baggage in life: emotional, mental, and spiritual baggage. What are the patterns that are currently in your life that are weighing you down? What are the patterns that you desperately want to break? Maybe you feel stuck and you don't know how to break the cycle. But the truth is we often overcomplicate what is needed to move forward in life. And when we overcomplicate things, we prevent ourselves from taking action. And if you're listening to me and you're in a cycle of unhealthy behavior, you're in a cycle of unhealthy patterns, know this: breaking a pattern, it doesn't require a monumental shift. All it takes is choosing to respond differently. I've heard it said that insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And with that, I want to remind you that you have the power to change your situation, no matter what it is. And making it to the top in your life, whatever the top may be, it starts with a decision. It starts with a decision to stop carrying the things that are no longer serving you. It starts with a decision to travel light. So, why must we travel light in life? First, traveling light gives us mental clarity. When your mind isn't cluttered with regrets of the past or fears about the future, you are able to focus on the present. And the present is where life happens. The second reason it's important to travel light is traveling light gives you flexibility. When you're not burdened with unnecessary weight, whether it's possessions, whether it's toxic relationships, or whether it's self-doubt, when you're not burdened with these things, you can pivot easily. Freedom from the things that are holding you down allows you to properly adapt in life. You can go wherever life is leading you without feeling stuck or feeling like you're running in place. You're getting super tired, you're exhausting yourself, but you're not physically going anywhere. The third reason we should travel light is traveling light gives us freedom. Traveling light gives us freedom to chase our dreams, to explore new horizons, to take risks that propel us forward in life. There's something about being truly free. When you become unshackled from the what ifs and the should haves, you are able to enjoy what you are becoming and you are able to reach your full potential. Ultimately, traveling light, it isn't about having less. It's about making a decision to only carry what truly matters. It's about prioritizing the relationships, the thoughts, and the beliefs that enrich our lives and leaving behind those that do not. And when you let go of the weight, you also let go of the stress that comes with it, and you create space for peace, for joy, and for growth. We cannot grow when we're weighed down. We cannot run towards our purpose while we're holding on to the past. We all carry something. Every single one of us are carrying something in our backpack through life. So let's identify some of the things that you might be carrying that are no longer serving you. The first is relationships. Think about your relationships in your life. Are there any relationships that you are currently holding on to that you've outgrown? Maybe it's a friendship. Maybe it's a romantic relationship. Maybe it's a professional relationship. The thing about holding on to relationships that no longer serve us is not as if we don't know. It's that we lack the courage to move. In your heart, you know that relationship is no longer serving you. And often, relationships begin to feel like a habit rather than a source of joy. Yet we hold on to these relationships out of fear, maybe guilt or obligation. Sometimes we stay in relationships because of history, because of loyalty. Maybe they were there for you at one point in life and now you feel like you have to stay there. Or just because you don't want to start all over. But hear me when I say this. Letting go of relationships that no longer serve you is an act of self-love. It's not about quitting, and it's not about giving up on someone. It's about recognizing which relationships truly nourish you. And when you release the ones that no longer do, you create space for connections that truly uplift you and inspire you towards your greater self. Another thing we carry around in our backpack is grudges. It's crazy how we hold on to resentment, anger, and betrayal as if us holding on to these things will somehow make the other person pay. But in reality, the person that suffers is you. Grudges steal peace, joy, and energy. And the way the grudges steal peace, joy, and energy is by keeping you trapped in what was. And a pattern you're going to see here as we talk about traveling light is whenever we release something, we create space for something else. And when we let go of toxic emotions, we then make space for inner peace. I love what Shannon Alder said. The quote said, "Forget what hurt you but never forget what it taught you. Because when you remember what it taught you, those lessons can be applied to you improving your life. Another rock that we carry in our backpack through life is the rock of habits that no longer fit. We all have habits, some good, some bad, some that served us at one point, but now no longer fit our lives and where we are trying to go. Maybe it's routine behavior that you picked up along the way, but now as you've grown, is starting to feel restrictive. One of the things that we don't talk about often when it comes to habits is bad habits are hard to break because they offer us a sense of false security. But when we take a closer look, we see this habit is preventing me from becoming what I want to be. And for those that are on a growth mission, it's time to let go of bad habits and make room for healthier, more empowering habits that align us with our future. Another rock we carry is a negative perspective. Negative perspectives constrain our thoughts and they shape our reality. Holding on to negative perspectives is like looking at life through a dirty lens. You miss the beauty and the possibilities, the opportunities that are all around you. And the reason you miss it is because your vision is clouded with pessimism, self-doubt, and fear. But those thoughts aren't facts. Those thoughts are just stories that we tell ourselves. But the good news is you can change the story. What if you adopted a positive mindset of possibility, of abundance, and of positivity? Letting go of the negative perspective, it will allow you to believe in your worth and approach life with hope and excitement. Another rock that many carry is a false identity. So many of us walk around carrying an identity that tells us that we're unworthy. This mistaken identity comes from years of internalizing negative messages or internalizing painful experiences. Often, we allow other people in our lives to label us as not good enough. And then we start to believe that those labels are who we really are. The limiting beliefs that you have are like invisible chains that keep you stuck in one place. But when you can challenge yourself to let go of the false identity, you shed doubt, you shed fear, you shed insecurity, and what is revealed is the powerful person that you always were underneath. You can reclaim your life with peace, with freedom, and with joy. And when peace, joy, and freedom show up, you are no longer overshadowed by the pains of your past. And speaking of the pains of your past, the last rock that many carry is the rock of regret. Regrets keep you rooted in the past. And it's very easy to replay situations over and over in our mind and say, man, what if I had just, what if they had just, or if only I had, if only they had, then this situation never would have happened. But one of the things that I had to learn is that living in regret doesn't change the past. It only robs you of the joy of the present and blinds you to the possibility in the future. And if you're listening to me, it's time to forgive yourself. It's time to forgive yourself and the mistakes you made and the opportunities that you missed. It's time to move forward with compassion and with grace. What burdens are you still carrying? And how much further could you go if you just released them? The lighter you travel, the further you go. And you won't have to be concerned with having less because you will have space for what truly matters. You will receive joy, you will receive growth, and you will fulfill your purpose. Always remember that growth is a journey. It's not a destination. I'm in it with you, and I'll see you on